everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and annual gift man was good to you, and Happy New Year and all that usual stuff. So we're back on some projects this year. For now we're going to start on the Polo. If you haven't done a quick history on the Polo, if you haven't seen my previous video, there'll be a link in the box there for you. It's a 1 litre 1998 3-door 6N, same as the first car I ever had, and I always said if I found another one for sale I'd buy it, and this is it. So while it needs almost nothing, it does need stuff too. So what we were gonna do in this video was start painting the 16 valve bumpers that I have for it. But the last couple of days, if you live in Ireland, I'm sure you know this by now, but there's been crazy snow warnings and very low temperatures. I believe it's -1 today and it's about 12 o'clock now, so it's about as hot as it's going to get, and it's to be that and worse for the next roughly week. So there's no point, even with the heater on, no point trying to paint in this kind of weather, not in a space as big as this. So what we're doing instead, we're going to do some interior work. We have a couple of things which you've just seen there. We'll go through them in a second. There's seatbelts from 6N2 GTI, cool red seatbelts. We've got a new, well not new, another option for a steering wheel. We've got a 16 valve steering wheel. I believe it's the same as a Mark III Golf, I think, I'm not sure. We've got a new gear stick sleeve to put in. The headliner is sagging, which I'll show you that in a second. We've got glue to redo that. A couple of small things, nothing crazy, but a few small little jobs. So let's take a look at what we've got and we'll go from there. All right, so as I mentioned, first of all, seatbelts from 6N2 GTI. They're just a seatbelt, they just happen to be red, that's all. I got an incredible deal on those from a guy on one of the Polo groups on Facebook. He had them in a Mark II Ibiza, which I think is a 6K Ibiza. I'm not sure, whatever type of year Ibiza is the same era as the Polo. They're essentially the same car bar the body panels. They're just red, that's all, just kind of cool looking. They probably will need a clean up, they're quite grubby. But to be honest, I don't really fancy trying to power wash and dry something in this weather, so maybe that'll be something for another date. The steering wheel I mentioned, as I said, it's 16 valve Polo, and again I think the same as the Mark III Golf. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, to be honest. Like it's kind of cool looking and all that. The 4 spokes kind of cool, but the more I drive with the original steering wheel, the original 3 spoke, we can take a very quick look at that, the more I like it. So I'm not sure if I'll swap it out or not. I do also have the opportunity to buy a steering wheel from a Volkswagen Pointer. I'll put a couple of photos in here. I think they're 2001, 2003. It's almost the same steering wheel, just a little bit sportier looking. I don't know. It's not particularly dear and it's as good as brand new. Again, a guy in one of the Facebook groups has it. So I'm debating that as well, but I might just stick with the original. Another thing then, I have the gear stick sleeve, not an OE one, but a aftermarket one, it'll be fine. And then I have some OE floor mats. As you can see right there, the factory floor mats for it. Now, the guy that I got these from, a shout out to Graham on the Polo groups, he's based in Ireland here as well. He's got a beautiful 5-door 6N with a Bentley leather or Bentley coloured leather interior or something. I can't remember, something like that. Beautiful car. He happened to have the steering wheel and those mats lying around and gave me a very good deal on those. So a shout out to Graham again. Now, he did mention that they had been sprayed black by somebody at some point, so I don't know if the original mats are meant to be like a very grey, but I will admit I've had the driver's side one in the car for the last maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks, just when I've given the car a little spin around, and to me I don't see any difference in the carpet colour with them, but they will need a clean and a good vacuum and stuff like that as well, so there'll be another thing to go in the car. The last thing then we're going to try to attempt today is, as I mentioned, you can see here the headliner is very saggy, and also in that far corner there and starting to sag right there just in the middle of your screen. So as much as I really don't want to have to pull this car apart, like taking down A and B pillar plastics and stuff like that, it's the only way to do it. Because anyone that's messed around with cars before, you know that once you pull stuff apart, it never quite goes back together as nice as it was originally. So I guess I just have to really take my time and do it. But having said that, I need to take most of them down to replace the seatbelts anyway, so that's why I'm trying to do all this in one shot. So I think what we're going to start at is whipping the front and back seats out, and I guess we'll go from there. Yeah, let's get these seats out. everybody, we're back. Hang on, let me pause that so we don't get the copyright. So we've got the headliner out. So it came out relatively handy, I guess. You can see it's all floppy and shitty and stuff. So I managed to get away pretty well regarding the clips and the trims and all that stuff. I didn't break any trims at all, thankfully. One there that I forgot to... watch me break this one. I'm after saying I didn't break any. There we go. Managed to not break any of those. The one thing I did break, which I'm very annoyed about, I was going to lift the carpet to lift the center console to change the gear sleeve and all that stuff, but what had happened was I couldn't remember how this comes apart, and I thought it shoved it that way, and I just gave it just kind of a bang like that, and I broke the fucking thing there, which is very annoying. But I'll figure out how it comes out, flip it around, and plastic weld it back together. It's not a big deal, but it came out okay. As I said, I hate doing this kind of stuff on any car really, but especially older cars, because all these clips and everything, they all smash and fall apart. Now I did lose a few of them. I think I broke 3 altogether. There's 3 there from the A-pillar trims down along here. The very last one there broke. It was like where it broke one leg off one side of it, which again, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure you can order them online, but I think we'll be okay. But otherwise, everything is out. All the seatbelts are out, all the trims are out, the back shelf is out, everything is out. So next step is to clean up and see if we can get this off in one piece, to glue it and then put it back on. I'd rather reuse it than having to buy new stuff. Just a quick note, I was sitting here tidying up, getting ready to start some trimming. I heard something cracking and I looked around and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I turned and there was this big cardboard, like, I don't know, like insulation or something. I just taped it back up just there so it wasn't falling. Like, I wonder what, would that be a template for some of the open air roofs? Because I know some of these did come with what they call an open air, which is essentially a panoramic sunroof, and that looks about the same kind of size as what it could be. I know you see people doing the swaps all the time and talking about the roofs. It's like a canvas roof that folds all the way back. It's actually really cool, but I wonder, is that a template for what it would be? But anyway, if you're a Volkswagen head and you know, maybe it's just a bit of insulation, maybe it's a template for the open air. But if you know, let me know. We're back. As you can see, the headliner came out all right. It's a bit grubby from being handled, but I don't think there's any point trying to wash that, for want of a better word. I just wouldn't risk pulling the material back off, but the material came off pretty easy. We just took the whole lot off as far as the little metal trim there for the interior light. I figured it was probably just easier than trying to take the whole thing off. At least we had one point that was factory that we could roll everything else down on top of. So as you saw there, we brought in the big guns. We brought in Mammy Flaherty, and she gave me a hand. Just not the kind of thing you can really do with one hand, or with one person. I mean, still a little bit of waves there where we couldn't really get a proper stretch on it, and the same just down along this edge here, but it's not bad though when you consider there'll be the interior light, both sun visors, the handles, the trim, all that stuff, or the pillar trim, I mean, all that stuff to hold it in. I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to leave that in front of the heater there. We'll let it cure for, I might even leave it till tomorrow, we'll see. But for now, we're going to move on to the seatbelts. Okay, so upon further investigation with the seatbelts, the back ones are a perfect bolt-in fit. They're absolutely the exact same thing, just with a red belt instead of a black belt. The front one, unfortunately, hang on one second, let me grab a front one. All right, we're back. So the front one sits in like that. It's got 2 little studs there that stop it from going any further down. And the body of the seatbelt is threaded in through there. So with the 6 and 2 one, let me get this out of the way. Hang on a second now. The 6 and 2 one then is completely different. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way again. Hang on. So the 6 and 2 one, now I don't know, maybe they're not 6 and 2, maybe they're Mark 3 Golf, maybe they're a Beta, I have no idea. First of all, that's not threaded. As you can see there, there's nothing on the back, so you've no way to secure it. And also where it lines up, the little notch for it to sit flush, there's a big difference there, you can see. Now I guess You could just send it and run a nut and bolt through there, which is what I'm going to do. But another step I'm going to take is I'm going to get a bit of 5mm bar that I have left over, and I'm going to cut whatever that is. I think it was 55mm, and then come up 15mm and cut a little space for that notch there, so it sits down into that, if that makes sense. It'd be like a spacer to stop the seatbelt rocking back and forth like that when it's bolted in. Not the most not the greatest way to do it, I guess. A little bit on the ghetto side, but I figure, you know, fuck it, it'll be fine as long as it's bolted in and doesn't rock around. I think we'll be good. So let's do that. Alright then, well, you might have seen that we had a failed attempt, so let me explain to you quite quickly why. So the dimensions and stuff that way was fine, the notch was in the right place, all that stuff, but what I didn't take into account, it's maybe kind of hard to tell on camera, but was the difference in the height there to there. See, obviously that material is way too thick, so that's some scrap. So the only other thing I could think of that would have been convenient at least was this little sheet of, I think it's does it even say like 1.8? Yeah, 1.8mm. Take a few strips of that and fold it over, then fold it again, fold it again, fold it again until it was the right thickness. So I got that done, came up with that. You can see what I mean, the way it's folded over onto itself, back and forth like a sheet of paper. So got the one made, and then got another one made, and then went to cut it and notch it and got all excited and realised I cut it the wrong way. The cut was supposed to come down, not that way. I just wasn't paying attention. So we got another one made, and then we got another one made. So we have two of those. Yeah, they're not the tidiest thing in the world, but they're never going to be seen, so it's not a big deal. But now is the time to test fit it and see, does it indeed fit? So let's move you around here now and we'll see our moment of truth, and does it indeed fit? It does. It does. Cool. Okay, so that one fits. That'll work. Let's try the other one. Oh, it fits as well. Might need a slight bit of adjustment, but I think we'll be good. So I don't know if there's any point even painting those. Probably no need. No, we won't bother painting them. Okay, so let's at least put this belt in the car and just make sure that it all works as it's supposed to. Okay, so we've got our little spacer on. We're going to offer this up now and hopefully it'll fit. I assume there's going to be, we're looking good. Yeah, okay, that goes through there. Now, am I going to be able to reach down here to get a nut and bolt, or to get the nut on the back of this now is the next question. Something tells me it's going to be particularly awkward. Oh yes, very much so. Right, we've almost got it, Okay, we got the washer and we get the nut on. We can get it started even. Yes. Right, cool, okay. That is a good sign. So let's get our Uggas. Can I even reach down here now to tighten that? Alright, we're back. We have a deep 17 that I didn't even know I owned, so I guess that's convenient. Let's run this guy in and see what happens. Sweep it straight. Can I get this stuff out of here now is the next question. Yeah, okay. Let's reach down. Are we through? Oh, we're plenty. It seems to work, I guess. So, yeah, we can bolt that up there. Yeah. I get, yeah, okay. Right, that seems fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, all right, let's do the other side. Okay, our first project on the Polo is finished. The headliner's done. It's not perfect, it's okay, but it's 100% good enough. We'll call it that. The seatbelts came out really cool. I think they look nice. I'd forgotten that the factory seat has that bit of red trim in it, so it matches pretty good. I had considered getting 6 and 2 GTI seats, which are not necessarily sportier shape, but just have a red and black pattern in them and looks pretty cool. They look nice in the back, but considering there's the red in the trim of those, or in the material of those, I think I'll leave it. Floor mats are in. It's nothing special, it's just floor mats. The new gear sleeve is in. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with all of that. Oh, the one thing I would potentially change down the line is those seat belts. They don't have a cap for the bolt. The guy I bought them from didn't have them, so which is not a massive issue. Now the factory one from the Polo, that cap there, it doesn't suit that style of anchor. So what I was thinking I might do down the line is I could always cut off or grind off that little stopper thingy. I've done it before. I have a few spares of them from the Honda. I could unbolt the seatbelt, wind it out up through the clip there, and out through that anchor again, and then replace that anchor for the Polo one if that makes sense. Wind it all back through and then put that cap on. So there's a cap on it, but I mean, for the sake of, you know, just having one cap on it, it's not a big deal. If I'd known that was going to be an issue, I would have done it while I was at it, but not a massive problem. So I think that's about it. Yeah, part one of the Polo project. Kind of a shame I didn't get to start on paint like I had hoped to do, but again, the weather is against us. It's supposed to get even colder, and there's supposed to be something like 6 to 8 inches of snow. Whether that will actually happen or not, who knows. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram. I've been doing little live updates on Instagram the last day or two. So thanks for watching again, and talk to you soon for part 2.